AI's been a new one, and you and I discussed that about bringing in, and it's been great. There's a lot of chat about AI and the way it's going in the world, and like everything, I understand that there's parts of it you can use to your benefit. One of the things that we kind of openly do is, we'll use it for troubleshooting, or sometimes with like emailing complaints and things like that, where you want to make sure from a compliance standpoint you tick every box. And sometimes discuss this as just to take the emotion out of it. You know what it's like if I've got 5 complaints sitting on my desk, and you don't want to get caught up in them, and everyone does that. It's one of the biggest things in business you want to find, is try not to be too overly emotionally based, because then you start making decisions based on being angry, sad, frustrated, and you just want to stay middle of the road and focus on doing the job that we do. And that's been a real help, and I've pushed that with the team to do that. Some people may agree with that, some people don't, but not only is my main job in here to keep the business wheels turning, but I've got 10 staff here who I've got to look after. I've got to make sure that they are not emotionally burnt out from doing their job. And I joke about it sometimes, but you'll have people emailing them being like, my tap's dripping, I'm not going to pay my rent this month. Or I had somebody email one of my staff a few weeks ago wanting a pet. The landlord had said no. The tenant had come back, said it would be an emotional support because he broke up from his fiancée, and just started offloading their like personal problems on my team. And as much as you kind of sort of laugh and joke about it, that's not what I pay these guys to do. They're not here to do that. They're here to manage property. And I'm all for having a human element involved in that, but there are certain times where lines get crossed. People think, it's an outlook, for them to just have a go, to shout. And 9 times out of 10, when tenants or landlords come on frustrated, there'll be other external factors that will build up to that frustration. But I've got to look after my team. That's what I'm there to do. AI's been great with helping with that. Brilliant with that. Yep. Again, just taking the emotion out and allow these guys to move from job to job. They still go through with it. They will still go to it for ideas and suggestions. There's still very much a human element. They're still on the phone. They're still speaking to tenants and landlords. But sometimes when it comes to putting that together and maybe looking at one big issue, stripping out all the emotions, saying, right, here's the best plan of attack. This is how we're going to deal with it. You do steps A, B, and C.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of great that you're seeing AI as a way to sort of protect your team's mental capacity and mental bandwidth. I mean, so, where are you seeing like some parts of your business where it's still, your business is running still too many manual processes, or where do you see some of the admin part starting to pile up?
Probably still things like where it's multifaceted. So, for example, compliance. Let's say you have to organise your safety certs for that year. Now, they won't always all fall on the same date because, for example, a gas safety is done every year, whereas an EICR is done every 5 years. So if, I've got a great girl, Nix, who works with me in compliance. She's brilliant. And, she'll have to email the landlord to say, dear landlord, the following certificates need to be renewed by the following dates. She'll then need to email, once she gets the go-ahead, she has to then email the contractor and then the same email tenant for access. That's still clunky.